guys, welcome to Sunday Funday. So today's actually Saturday and I'm going to make, hang on, this is from Six Sisters Stuff on YouTube. She just put the video up. By the time you see this, it'll probably have been a couple of weeks. If I don't forget, I'll link it in the description, but she did some soups, easy soups. They're supposed to be 15 minutes. We'll see. I'm very slow in the kitchen, so I would expect it to take me longer, but we'll just see. This is cheesy beef taco soup, and I'm going to tell you the ingredients, and I'm going to tell you what I'm changing. So 1 pound beef. Now, I thawed my beef. It looks a little brown. I'm not sure why. There's nothing wrong with it. I just thawed it in the refrigerator, so anyway, it's fine. It's brand new beef I just bought and froze. Nothing wrong with it. 1 onion chopped. Now, I do not eat onions. They make me very sick, so there's no onions here, but you know how to chop your onions if you use them and cook them with your beef. So that's what she did, was cook the beef with the onions, but I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm just gonna be doing the beef. 1 pound Velveeta cut up. Now in the last video, I used the knockoff Velveeta, which is the Great Value. I'm using that again because it is so much cheaper. With the way prices have gone up, it's just ridiculously expensive. So this is actually the 2 pound, just because it was so much cheaper to buy the 2 pound. It was so many cents less, you know, per ounce or whatever. So I'm gonna have to cut this in half. Then I'm gonna cut it up from there. Just like in the last video, I had to cut it up. So I'll be cutting it up, which is actually slow to me. That would actually be faster not to have to cut something. But anyway, that's part of it. So I don't think I'll be doing it in 15 minutes. We'll see. 14 ounce beef broth. So my beef broth, I actually use bone broth for everything because I've just realized how much more healthy it is. And I do buy the organic. This is the Sam's Choice from Walmart. It's not that expensive. It's like $2.56, something like that. It's not that high. There's brands that are twice as much. I'm not sure why they're so much, but there's like a Pacific or something brand that's like $5 and something. So anyway, I just use this one. Now I'm only going to need half of this. This is 32 ounces. I only need 14 ounces. I'm going to probably just eyeball it. I may measure it. I'm probably going to eyeball it. And this is the pot. I'm going to be using this pot. So it's just taller because I'm not sure how full it's going to be. So I'd rather use the shorter one, but I didn't want it to overflow because the shorter one you can see what I was doing. Okay, 1 can black beans. Now I don't have any black beans right now. What I do have, I bought a whole bunch of these on sale, the tri-bean, and so it's a blend. So it doesn't make any difference. Beans are beans. This is dark red kidney, pinto, and black beans. So it's a mixture. And she says rinse and drain. I'm a lazy cook. I don't rinse and drain. I know people used to get on her comments and make some comment about why don't you rinse and drain your beans. Somebody tell me why you need to do that. I've always just dumped them in. So we're dumping them in. If you feel a need to rinse and drain, feel free. To me, it's an extra step. I feel like they've already probably been rinsed. I mean, they were already pre-cooked. I don't know. That's just me. Somebody explained to me why. I think there's this thought that there's like stones or something, but we've never bit down on anything, so I don't know. I mean, we eat beans pretty often. I don't like them. I was telling Melinda mine pretty much go to Ranger because I don't like them. But I'll eat a few, but I'm not a bean person. And then 1 can corn, and she says do not drain. Of course, you can use any type of canned corn. You could, if you want to use frozen, that should probably fine. We're just doing this the fastest way possible. So canned it is. 28 ounces diced tomatoes. Don't drain. So you don't drain the corn. You don't drain the corn. You don't drain the tomatoes. Okay, because we're gonna use that liquid. And then green chilies. Mine happened to be fire roasted and peeled. I bought this for a recipe, I think, and never used them. So I'm going to use them in this one. And then 1 packet taco seasoning. So you can already see this is very easy. The hardest part or the longest part is cooking the meat. So 1 packet taco seasoning. Now, I make my own taco seasoning. So mine is pre-made. I just mixed it up. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like, hopefully. I just mix it up and put it in here. Now, you can mix a whole bunch and keep it in here and just, because it's airtight. So it basically, the taco and the chili mix are exactly the same. This happens to be the chili mix recipe, but when I looked up the taco mix, it's almost exactly the same ingredients. So I just went with what I had here. So mine is chili powder 2 tablespoons, paprika 1 tablespoon, cumin 2 teaspoons, garlic powder 1.5 teaspoon, oregano 1 teaspoon, red pepper 1/2 teaspoon. The only other thing that was in the because I looked up a taco one, because I think I just use these interchangeably. I looked up the taco one and it was black pepper, so I added some black pepper, and it was salt. So my garlic powder is garlic salt, so I used less than 1.5 teaspoon, and then I did a pinch of salt. And I used that Himalayan. You've seen me use this before. I get this at Dollar Tree, but you get it other places. It's just much more expensive everywhere else. So if you have Dollar Tree, buy a Dollar Tree. I actually stocked up. I've got 3 of these. I've been using this for months, like 6 months. I probably didn't need to stock up, but I did because I think it stays good forever. So anyway, that's it says chili mix, but that's my taco mix. I'll put it right up there. Hopefully I'll remember to link it down there in the description box. I'll write it all out for you, or type it out for you so you can actually read it, because my writing is terrible. Okay, so that's my chili mix. So here is, this is probably hard to see, and I'll probably, but you know, you might want to screenshot it, but I'm sure at some point I'll remember to put it in the description box. Anyway, this is what we're doing. So it's cheesy taco soup. I've never made this particular one before, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So I've been talking for 6 minutes, so let's just go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to focus down here. Okay, once again, I'm going to be using this for my meat, and while this is cooking, I'm going to be dumping stuff into this pot, okay? So I'm just going to dump my meat in. As always, I have my plastic bag right here, ready to go to put my stuff in. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Now, a lot of times I do wash my hands, but I end up cutting certain things out of the video just to shorten it some. So if you see me never washing my hands, just know that I do wash my hands quite a bit. It just probably got cut out, or most of it got cut out of the video. So it's going to take this a minute to heat up. So while it's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and put some of these cans into here. Spencer does want to eat this for lunch, and it's already lunchtime, so I'm going to try to get a move on here with this. The only reason she made her beef in the pan, I'm doing it separately because I'm going to drain it off, and I don't mind washing the extra. I mean, she drained hers off too, but I would just rather drain it off from here and be cooking in here, if that makes sense. Okay, so first thing. Okay, so the first thing is the onion, but I don't use onions, so I'm skipping the chopped onions that you would cook in with this. Okay, so I'm going to put the beef broth in, and I'm just going to eyeball it. It's going to be about half of this. Honestly, I feel like you could just use the whole thing. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Okay, the black beans. So the black beans have a pop top, so I'm just going to pop it. Now, I'm just dumping it in. Again, if you want to, since she did drain them, rinse and drain, I'm just going to drain. And again, it calls for black beans, and I'm just using this tri-bean blend that I got at Kroger. It's a Kroger brand. My hand's yucky, so I'm gonna wash my hand off. Do this first. I've only got this on 300. Sometimes I think last time it cooked up a little too fast, and I had it on 350, so I put it on 300. It's very confined heat on this, so you know it's very fast. Okay, the corn you do not drain. Do not drain the corn. There's quite a bit of liquid there. And then the diced tomatoes do not drain. Diced tomatoes do not drain. Alright, I'm going to stir that just a tad. Okay, and then green chilies. Chilies, I don't remember, I don't have written down whether to drain the green chilies or not. Actually, I'm not sure how much is on the green chilies because I usually just use Rotel, so I don't know what's on there. So I may just drain a little off just to be on the safe side since I don't have written down what she said to do. I'm going to turn this off. It looks like it's almost done. I think once it sits here, it'll be finished. All right, let me open this just to see what it looks like. And this is just the Great Value. So you could get the mild ones. I don't remember what I bought this for, but clearly I know I bought it for something. I just never used it. So let me just look at it. Okay, there's not a lot to drain, but I'm just going to drain a little. Yeah, so not much came off, so I don't think it probably matters if you drain it or not. Now, I've got to go ahead and cut this cheese up to put in here, but the other, I'm going to turn it down just a tad because it's going to take me a minute to get that cheese cut up. So I've got it on 7 right now. It was already starting to heat up pretty fast. This stove top is generic. It heats up pretty quickly, so I'm just going to go ahead and give that a good stir. And I'm going to go ahead, let's see. The only thing we're missing is the taco seasoning and the cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour this entire taco seasoning in. So again, it looked about like this. I'm just going to pour the whole thing because that's about how much would be in a packet. And I'm going to stir that really good. Then I'm going to drain this meat off of this beef. And start cutting that cheese up. Okay, just make sure this is good and done. Now, this time I am gonna drain into here. I'm gonna drain into this bowl. So I'm just gonna sit it right here like this. Drain it. Take it off. Let's see. Actually doesn't look as greasy as the last batch I made. Somehow. Hopefully this doesn't spill everywhere. some of it is spilling. Hang on. Scoop it in this way. Now this isn't nearly as fat as that last one, but I also didn't cook it quite as long. But I mean, it is done. I think it was the same batch of meat, so I don't know why that would be. Okay, most of it's in here. I'm just go ahead and kind of chop it up just a little bit because it was still pot most likely. You stir this. This is heating up pretty good, looks like. And you just have to heat this other part through. Now, of course, you're going to have to melt the cheese. So that's why I wanted to kind of go ahead and get it warmed up. So it'll go ahead and melt. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, there's not much coming off. Isn't that weird? I thought it was the same. I thought it was the same exact one I used last time, but no, not too sure. I still just use paper towels and just kind of bear down on it. You're just getting the most off. You don't, it doesn't have to get every single piece of grease off of here. A little bit of grease, it's not going to hurt us. Then I just kind of rub the bottom part. Okay, and then this is what's ended up in our bowl. That's, I can't see. That's just spilled into my bowl. But anyway, that's much less than was last time. Let me push on it one more time. See if I get anything else off of it. And then I'm just going to dump that into this pot. This is starting to boil, so I may just go ahead and turn it down just a little bit. So I don't think we really need to cook it. We just need to, just warming it up and just warming it up. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in. All right, just like that. Stir that up. That looks really good. You can't see because the pot is so large. This is why I don't cook in the Instant Pot. And actually, you could do all this in your Instant Pot. You could saute in your Instant Pot. You could saute the beef and the onions together, and then you would drain your fat off, and then you would start dumping everything in on top of your meat and your onions, just like this. So if you want to do one pot and you don't have to do it this way, I did it this way just to show you my process. But, you know, with this pot being this tall, you can't really see anything. I don't have a mount to put my iPad on that's high up in the air like that. I bought Velveeta, so it might. All right, so I'm going to open this up. I only need half. I'm just going to eyeball it. Looks about right. Now, I got to tell you, I've done 2 Velveeta recipes in a row. I literally have not eaten Velveeta except at my mom's house in years. So I'm not a huge, I actually love Velveeta. I'm not a huge Velveeta fan just because it's a processed cheese spread. It's not really, you know, this says made with real cheese. It's not real cheese, okay? So if you have a type of cheese that you would prefer, this is still boiling. If you would have a type of cheese you prefer to use, then feel free to do it your way. I'm just doing it this way because we've never done it this way. It sounded really good. You could just use cheddar cheese. You can do it without the cheese. You could just have regular taco soup. I'm just going to go, as I'm cutting, I'm going to go ahead and throw in so I can get this to go ahead and of course this has been sitting out because this wasn't refrigerated, so it's nice and soft. So hopefully it will melt quickly. Velveeta does taste good, but it's just, it's not, you know, I've just gotten where I don't eat a lot of it. But like I said, this was a new recipe. I had never tried it this way. I've kind of done it with the other ingredients minus the green chilies. Don't think I've done it with green chilies before. So anyway, between the, and I probably don't usually put corn. I'm not sure that I usually put corn in there, but that's fine. I'm not a big bean person, but I do love corn. I love the tomatoes. I love everything else that's in there. So I think it'll be really good. And hers looked so cheesy and so good when she was finished. Turn it a little bit just so it'll melt after I just turned it back down. Also, this is a lot of cheese. You could also put less. You know, you could put half of this amount. You wouldn't have to put an entire pound of cheese in there if you were, you know, this does have a lot of salt. If you're on a salt diet for, say, high blood pressure where you're not supposed to be eating tons of salt, I definitely would use a different kind of cheese, or I would use a lot less of this. I would not use an entire pound if you were on a salty type, you know, because it doesn't look like it's melting to me. I didn't think it would take much to melt because it's already very soft. And then she suggested serving it with corn chips, or now I would probably serve it with tortilla chips, and I'm not even sure I have any tortilla chips. I had some at some point. I don't know, we may just eat it with Doritos. Is that close enough, Doritos? And I think she said sour cream. We're not huge on sour cream, so we're not gonna probably add sour cream, but you could use what she said, the corn chips and the sour cream if you wanted to. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate everybody being here. My lasagna one so far has gotten, my Easily lasagna, which is the one that's released so far, has gotten, I think it's close to 80 views, so I think that's really good. The hot cocoa one that was the first one. It got a lot of views. It's over 100. So anyway, I'm definitely not some sort of gourmet cook. I like easy recipes. I like recipes with few ingredients. This one had plenty of ingredients, but you know, if it's got less, I'm happy. But also I like to have stuff I can store in my pantry and not have to, have a bunch of fresh stuff on hand. We do eat salads every day, so we have fresh foods on hand. We eat a lot of produce, but as far as like for a recipe, I just like to be able to open my pantry and grab, open the freezer, thaw the meat, and if you're in a hurry, in a pinch, you can thaw your meat in the microwave. I do it all the time because I'm usually not organized and usually in a pinch. So you can certainly thaw your meat in the microwave. I do it all the time. I just put it on the defrost, and I just do it a little at a time. You don't want to be cooking. You don't want it to cook, so you want to be careful when you're doing that. But just put it on the defrost setting and just keep a really close eye on it. Just do a minute at a time. If it's frozen solid, you can start at 2 minutes, but then you want to start reducing to a minute and a half pretty quickly. No, I'm almost finished. Like I said, I think this takes more time than even cooking the meat does. So yeah, it says 28 minutes. So I talked for 5 minutes, and it's taken me this long to get everything cut up and put in here. So definitely longer process for me than 15 minutes, but I'll probably cut a little bit out of here, just some extraneous stuff. Me washing my hands. This is, yeah, this is dissolving just like she said it would. I'm gonna show you the end result, so you'll be able to see it dissolving exactly like she said. So that's good. I did turn it up. Right now it's on 8 just because I wanted to go ahead and dissolve, and it is nice and hot. Steam's coming off of it. Stirring it is melting it really easily. Yeah, so I think that's all. So basically for me it took about 20, let's see, about 22 minutes, I guess, because I talked for about 6, and then at 28 it was pretty much done. So about, wouldn't that be 22 minutes, I think? Yeah, this looks exactly like hers, so that's good. I did it right. I did it right. All right, gonna wash my hands again, and then I'm gonna show you the final product, okay? Okay, so here is the final. This is what it looks like. It is fully cooked. You can see it's bubbling a little bit. I've turned it down quite a bit, and I think my hands are shaking, so I'm sorry about that if this frame is shaking up and down. But anyway, that's the final. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Join me next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah.